Welcome to UKPTV Igbo service.
This is Igbo, the wisdom of our ancestors.
In Igbo cultures, the blessing of the Kolanut, Igoji, is not just a prayer. It is a sacred ritual, a bridge between the living, the ancestors, and the divine. Every gathering begins here because Kolanut is the custom that unites the Igbo. The prayer begins with invocation, calling on the Supreme Being, the spirits of the land, and the ancestors to join the gathering.
It is not about the Kolanut. It's about the person we are praying to. Ndị Igbo ji sị na okenye jide ọjị kwa ụkwara, ndị mmụọ ege ntị. When we realize that those we addressed, our fathers addressed with Kolanut, were their ancestors.
Chukwu okike taa ọjị, anyanwụ na-agbala taa ọjị, ndị ichie taa n'ọjị. God the Creator, eat kola. The sun and the spirit of the land, eat kola. Our ancestors, eat kola. This opening reminds us that the humans do not eat before the spirits. Even the small tip of the Kolanut is pinched off and offered to the ancestors first.
First, we break the Kolanut and take that spot where the Omeoji, the life is. Anyoji, and that is what you use, sign of life, to invoke life while praying to your ancestors. They are addressing the land and the ancestors. The land in which those ancestors were buried. And the ancestors buried there. The only language the people knew, and the only language those ancestors understood, that is the language in which the prayer is said.
After invocation comes petition, the heart of the prayer. Here, the speaker asks for long life, prosperity, health, good children, and peace. Onye wetara ọjị, wetara ndụ. He who brings kola brings life. Ihe dị mma onye na-achọ, ọ ga-afụ ya. Whatever good a person seeks, they shall find. These petitions are not just wishes. They are communal hosts, spoken aloud for everyone present. Then comes justice and protection. Proverbs are used to remind the community of fairness, equity, and the downfall of evil. Egbebelu, ugwebelu, nkesi ibeyebela, nkukwaya. Let the kite perch, let the ego perch. Whichever says the other shouldn't, let its wing break. And finally, the prayer ends with the communal response. The people seal the petitions with one voice. He say, so be it. This response is more than agreement. It is unity. The five fingers of the hand coming together, the community standing as one. But the Kolanut rituals is not only about what is said, it is also about who has the right to say it.
In my own place, breaking of Kolanut is a service entrusted to the youngest male. But the prayer over Kolanut is ritual, priestly ritual, entrusted to the eldest in the place.
Because he's considered closest to the ancestors. In southern Igbo land, the host breaks it to show welcome. A visitor cannot offer kola prayer in the host's house, no matter his age or status. Even a 12-year-old boy, if his father is late, reserves the exclusive right to break kola in his own house. For example, during the traditional marriage of his elder sister, he may hand the nod to his uncles or elders to pray, but the kola must first pass through his hands. And in many communities, when the kola is shared at a gathering, it is distributed from the elders to the youngest in strict order of chronology. These rules remind us that kola is not just food, it is hierarchy, respect, and the living order of the people.
Immediately after my priestly ordination, I went with my father to an office, and we visited another man who was older than my father, and the man offered kolanut. And my father asked me, now we have learned to pray over unbroken kolanut. My father asked me to say the prayer as a priest. I said the prayer and offered to break it as the youngest male in the room. My father objected. You can no longer do that service. He told me, you are now a priest. In our dialect, you are now a priest, and as a priest of the Supreme Being, you can no longer offer this service reserved to the youngest. This is the type of thought we need to do in order to understand the dynamics of our culture, bearing in mind that by its very nature, culture is dynamic. It grows as different from tradition, which is handed over from generation to generation. Tradition is the residue of culture, and both cannot be confused, because tradition, you make a choice about what you accept there and what you leave. But culture carries you along, and you just have to consciously live the culture.
Even the way the kolanut brace carries meaning. 3 loaves of oji ikenga, strength and achievement. For 4 loaves, it's called oji ezumeze, the 4 market days, a complete blessing. For a kola with 5 loaves, when broken, is known as oji obara, wealth and many children. For a kolanut with 6 loaves, is called oji ndemwo, a covenant with the spirits. And if peradventure the kolanut, when broken, has 7 loaves, it's called oji asa, a miracle nut, a royal blessing, often celebrated with a feast. Every nut, as you can see, is a message. Every loaf, a prophet. Though the kola prayer is not random, it follows a sacred order: invocation, petition, justice, conclusion. And it follows sacred etiquette. Who breaks it?
Area, my own domain, we say the prayer with broken kolanut. In some other areas, the prayer is said with the kolanut low before it is broken.
Who prays? Who eats first? To bless kola nut in Igbo is to remind ourselves, Oji adịghị anụ asụsụ mba ọzọ. The kola nut does not understand foreign languages.
So the primary vehicle of culture is language. So if Igbo people now say they will continue saying the prayer over Oji in Igbo, then I will understand that it is an aspect of the preservation of the cultural dynamics of kolanut, not because kolanut does not understand English.
It understands only the tongue of its people. This is Igbo on UKP TV, uncovering the common knowledge of our people.